Good morning and welcome back. And today we're doing another tier list. I promised last time we were together I would do a tier list over RV items. Now, I'm not going to go through every item you get for an RV. What I've tried to pick out the most publicized, the most common RV items you see other influencers and other programs promoting that you may need if you're an RVer. And I'm going to put those into a tier list so that we can rate them honestly and quite frankly of what you need, what you don't need, what is garbage, what is not. So I've developed a brand new tier list for this. There's 20 items we're going to go through, and they are items you need before you even start. You're on your way to pick up your camper, you might want to pick this up on the way before you even get it. The next will be the things you need. You may not need it day one, but you need to get it pretty quickly. And things for a better life. You don't necessarily need it, but it'll make your RV experience that much more enjoyable. Then there's up to you. Not going to be for everybody, but maybe you'd like it. And then there's total trash. I would avoid it. Not worth your money. Those are our tiers. We're going to go through them and we're going to see where everything fits. Now, this is only 20 items. And we're not doing all the essentials and all that. Have another video, I'll link it below, where I go through all the essentials with the shopping list so that you can actually get your essentials. I also have a video on the next level from essentials. I'll put that down there as well. And we're gonna go through these items, no particular order here. These are things that basically I picked them out by doing searches on YouTube and seeing which items were promoted the most, and I picked the top 20. Let's start off. I'm going to start off with a hot item, right? A real hot item. And this is this new Camco device that has recently come out that allows you, it's basically the sewer elbow that you can just stick down into the sewage to hook your hose to, and it has a little lever that locks it into place. This was a hot item all summer. You couldn't find them on the shelves. People couldn't order them. I actually have a couple of them in my bag because I bought some for me and I picked up others for friends to give out. And I'm looking at this thing and it is great. I have one. I'm hooked up with one right now. I will tell you, I don't think you need it. And I've heard that there are campgrounds that actually don't allow it because they think that expansion can split or break those pipes. I don't think it can do that, but you know, I've heard that. I do think you need the elbow that is clear. I think I'd put that in the need. But this item, I'm going to put it in better life. I don't think you need it. I think the other elbow works fine. We've been using them for years. But this, just a little better life. If you've ever had those connections you hook to that even though you have your different donuts and different sizes, you just could never get it to sit there and you had a pile of rock on top or a board, this will make that part of your life easier. So I'm going to put that in better life. Next up is RV lock. Now I'm a big fan of RV lock. I installed them on my Lance. It didn't come with it. It came with another similar lock system that was remote controlled and everything, but it didn't have a fob. RV lock brought the fob to it. It just had the code. And I found it so good that not only did I put it on my front door of my Lance, but I replaced a lock only door in the back of the Lance with one as well. Loved it. Would have bought one for the Brinkley, but the Brinkley comes with it, so I didn't have to. Now, do you have to have one? No. You can always just use your key, not a problem. So I'm just going to put that into better life as well. Next product is we're going to be looking at Gas Stop. Now, full disclosure, I have a link for Gas Stop. I've promoted Gas Stop. I really like Gas Stop. They don't pay me anything or anything, but they've sent me free Gas Stops, and I really like their product. Now, I think Gas Stop is something that you probably should have before you start. And let me explain why. It's a safety item. If you have a breach in your hose and it starts to release a lot of gas, it will shut that off. And that could be a lifesaver. And I think as a safety item, you should have it. A little secret, you can also use it to detect slow leaks. Basically, you hook it up and you turn off the gas and you have everything closed off and you see if the gauge goes down, then you'll know you have a slow leak you need to look for. So it does a couple things. It's safety. So I think it is something I'd have before I start. Gas Stop, buy it before you start every time. Definitely. All right, after that, Brooklyn bedding. I've done videos for them, and we're not doing Brooklyn bedding. There are other manufacturers of mattresses as well. The real thing here is, do you need to replace your mattress? And I would say you've spent a lot of money on your RV. You might as well get a good night's sleep in it. And I don't care which RV you have. The mattress that came with it is crap, and you're not going to be comfortable. So I do think at the very least, you have to buy a foam topper for that mattress. But those will squirm around and you won't enjoy it, and it won't be as good. But since you can get by with one of those, I'm going to put the mattress in the better life. For me personally, it would be buy before you go. Have it ready to go. I'm going to switch out that mattress immediately. I think it is that important. If you are buying an RV, go ahead and plan on getting a new mattress. That should be in your calculations. All right, next up is the Victron. Now, Victron inverters are promoted out there for RVs all over the place. They are top-notch quality inverters. And having the Victron version a lot of times gives you the ability to, supplement. Like, you could be hooked up on shore power that's just not enough, and it can supplement. So like if you're hooked up at the mother-in-law's house and all they had was a little, small outlet, so it's going to give you a little bit of feed, but you need to supplement it with your inverter. It can do that. It can detect power outages. It does a lot. It's also your charger and your converter. So it does all those things for you, and it's really great. You don't need one. You don't need it. You can camp without them. I camped for years without an inverter, and then you can also get less expensive inverters and run if you're just wanting to run one or two things. If you're going to do a whole house converter, definitely get the Victron, but you don't need it. It's up to you. It's up to you. But I definitely like it. Now, I will add on that list. It didn't come up as often. If you travel a lot where you do overnight stays where you don't have power, maybe you do Cracker Barrels or you do Harvest Host, what I would invest in addition to that inverter, is a DC to DC charger. The Victron DC to DC charger. I put one in here. Worth your weight in gold. Get it. All right, Blackstone. You don't see it as advertised as much. It's kind of like everybody used to have Blackstones and everybody used to have Berkeley. I did Berkeys. I said Berkeley. Berkeys, the big water things, which I don't think you should have in your RV. Did a whole video on that, so I'm not going to do it here. Blackstones, I have one. I love it. It seems like they were really in vogue at one time, and now you don't see people doing them. They're doing other grills or all. I still swear by mine. It fits perfectly. It's storage. But, once again, that's just up to you. You don't need one. Would make your life better, probably, but some people prefer different kind of grills. But the Blackstone, up to you. Happy Camper. Happy Camper, if you've been RVing for a while, if you've talked to people who've been camping for a long time, they will have told you Happy Camper is what you treat your water with. Don't use anything else. It does everything you need, and it's never failed you. I believe that. I would actually pick up Happy Camper before I picked up my RV. Now, people are going to disagree with me. They're going to say there's other great products. I know Matt over at Matt's R Review, or at least we've communicated over the phone and did a collaboration together. And he has liquefied. I've heard great things about it. I really have. I haven't tried it myself, so I can't speak to it. But Happy Camper I can speak to. So before you start off, I would get a thing of Happy Camper. And one of those little things, I order them off Amazon, they last forever. I mean, like one of those little, it's amazing how long one of those will last. So you'll be surprised. Don't go buy a bunch of them. Just buy one at a time because they last forever. Now, I understand that in California, you might not be able to get it because they have some environmental rules. Maybe it's too fine of a dust or something. But everybody else, get your Happy Camper. Next up is the LevelMate Pro. Everybody's sworn up and down by the LevelMate Pro. And I will tell you, I've had them. I've had LevelMate Pros, and the idea of them is great, especially if you have a travel trailer, because they'll help you know where you're level. Like you can drive your car up and down, and like you're gonna do a Cracker Barrel stop. You can move back and forth till you find that perfect, almost level place before you even have to level if you're not going to be able to. Or if you're leveling your camper at a campground, you can have your app out, and it'll tell you when you're level. But believe it or not, as great as all that is, especially when you combine it, if you have a travel trailer with Anderson levelers, which is also on this list, I'm going to put it in the trash. I just told you how great it was. Why am I putting it in the trash? Because the darn things never work. What I mean is they will lose their, you put them on there and you get it level and you hit the little thing that tells it, you know, this is where level is. And the next time you go, it'll work. And then the next time you level to it, it won't. And it's inconsistent, and it actually makes leveling harder when it doesn't work because it'll get you so out of whack. And so I got so frustrated with ours over the years after trying 2 of them, I just went to putting the level down. Now I'm in this RV. It does a good job of leveling with its own built-in system. I still check it with a level, but I'd never waste my money on Level Mate Pro again. Also, I went to contact them when I was having these troubles, and they blew me off. No customer service whatsoever. Just blew me off, acted like it was my fault when it completely and totally wasn't, and I wasn't impressed. Ironically, I was contacting some other people on this list at that same time, as right after a big trip, such as SnapPad and Gas Stop and Mopica, and there was someone else. RV Lot. All of them were awesome. Great customer service. Little Met Pro, crap product, crap service. Leave it alone. All right, I just mentioned them, so let's go to SnapPad. Now, for me, I will never have an RV without SnapPad again. And I'm putting it in the will need. You might not need it the first second you pick it up, but your life will get better once you put it in. So you're saying, well, why don't you put it on Better Life then? Because I think it's a necessity. It'll protect the feet of your levelers or your balancers, or what would depend on if you have a travel trailer or a fifth wheel, or a Class A with levelers. It'll protect them right away, and I think you want to get that on right away. There's also some parks that will not let you put metal feet down on the ground. I did a video on Mesa Verde. As you go into the national park there, they have signs up saying you can drop your trailer, but you can't put it on the ground. People are looking around for wood and stuff. I had snap pads. I was good to go. You can put stuff under your RV. I used to carry around the little pads and the buckets and all that stuff, and it's just a pain in the butt and a lot of effort. And so I think eventually you will come to think you need snap pads. Now, there's someone else with an RV channel out there, and they're always going, I don't know why you'd need them. The person doesn't have them. I don't know why you need them. I just do this, because they haven't tried it. Try it, and you'll know it's a will need. Speaking, I just went ahead, I'm going to go out of order. I mentioned the Anderson bucket, so I'm going to put them right here. I am going to put this in the trash. I've used those buckets. I've had them for years, and they've done great. Why am I putting it in the trash then? One, there are campgrounds that won't allow them. It's kind of odd, but there are some campgrounds that won't allow them. I don't know why. Two, I've had them split on me, and I think that's dangerous. So, trash. And they're bulky to carry around. Just put your snap pads on and go to the ground. You'll be fine. You don't need these big Anderson buckets. I was going to say up to you. I know a lot of people who put the tongue trailer jack on them, but to be honest, because of the safety risk, I put them in trash. Now, here's an item. This is I did a whole video and a short on it. A lot of people watched that short. It was like, I don't remember how many thousands of people, but it's an item I discovered you need when I first started RVing with our Winnebago. And what I found is one day I went to take off the black cap. One day I went to take the cap off of our sewage to hook up and got drenched in black water. And what had happened is there had been a valve leak or something, and it had built up behind it. And since then, I believe you need that extra valve you can attach to the end of that, so that even if there's been a leak, you can still put your hose on without making a mess. And I like the one that's clear, so you know if that's even an issue. And so I'm putting that, I think you should pick that up on the way to the dealer to pick up your RV. So I'm putting that up before you start. You don't want to go camping without that. If you do, and you eventually get caught, you'll regret it. The next one is Starlink. You see these promoted by YouTubers and influencers and whatnot all the time, or on the Reddit forums. I have Starlink. I use it. It's great when I need it. I don't need it that often though. And not everybody's working from the road. Not everybody needs that much internet. Some people are trying to get away from it. That's why they're going RVing. So I'm just going to, and my T-Mobile works 9 times out of 10. So I'm just going to put that, and it's expensive. So I'm putting that in the up to you category. Now, the next up is only applicable to people with a travel trailer. and this is the Pro Pride. You can also get the Hensley hitch. They're kind of the same thing. Customer service is great. These products are great. You're not going to need it 100% of the time if you have a well-balanced travel trailer. But if you don't, you will absolutely need it, and for safety reasons. I mean, it's the only one that completely eliminates sway. It's really expensive. If you have a trailer that has sway issues, it is an absolute need, almost before you buy. If you don't, it's just it can give you a better life, but you don't, you'd be fine probably with any distribution hitch and sway control. So I'm going to kind of just put it in the better life category. Though I will say, if you have like the Lance 2445 that has sway issues when it's not just absolutely loaded perfect or on wind, then it becomes a need. But for most people, it's a better life. This next one, a lot of people think of them with travel trailers. I know I mentioned using them with the LevelMate Pro earlier, and these are the Anderson levelers. If you have a travel trailer, I think you should have Anderson levelers. Now my Lance, the wheels were too close together for the Anderson, so I had to use the Camco version, but same concept. But the Anderson ones are a little better quality if you can use them. I think with the travel trailer, no brainer. If you're gonna use the LevelMate Pro, even though I said not to, the two do work well together when the LevelMate Pro works. But the Anderson levelers make leveling your RV a million times better than the blocks and all the other things. Just works great. But I also use them with my fifth wheel. The reason I use them with my fifth wheel is occasionally you'll be in a spot when you go to do the auto leveling with your fifth wheel setup where wheels on one side will lift off the ground a little bit. Now that generally means you've done something wrong, or you got to correct, or you can bring it down and start it over and it'll be fine. But occasionally you'll be in a place where you can't move around and it just cannot get level without lifting those tires off the ground. And you don't want to leave them lifted off the ground. So what you do is you have those Anderson levelers with you. You can literally, while it's sitting up off the ground with the tires, you can put those levelers under it like you rolled up on them, tap it with a little mallet so it goes in there tight, and it's just like you used them to level up. Your tires are no longer off the ground. You've beat the system. You've won. Great. Because of that, I think they give you a better life, whether it's in leveling your travel trailer or fixing that problem when your wheels come off the ground with a fifth wheel. Definitely way to go. Now, I don't know if that'd work on a Class A or not, and ask somebody who has a Class A. Next up is the Max Air Fan Deluxe. Now, I've said those are the best fan system you can buy. And if you have an RV that comes with a little bitty fan in the bathroom, go ahead and change it out with the Deluxe. But if I already have a Max Air fan, I'm probably not going to switch it out to get the Deluxe. I just think it's a nice, better life improvement, but it's not necessary. Maybe I'm going to stick that down, up to you. Now, in the event that you don't put in the Max Air Fan Deluxe, which kind of closes and shut, and you have, it doesn't matter if it's a Max Air fan or a Fantastic fan or the little bitty fan, and you need a cover for your RV, then you're definitely going to need an RV cover. So I'm putting that up there. So if you don't have the Deluxe, you're going to need that cover. So I'm putting it in the will need category. Now we're going to move over to our protection, to our electrical system. This one here I'm showing is a WatchDog. I think the other variant is Progressive. Those are the only two I'd recommend. I would have one or the other. You can have them where they're built in inboard, or you can have them where they hook onto the pole or the terminal, the post outside. I personally like them not built in. I've done it both ways because they are built to go out when you have a problem. And I don't want to have to deal with that. It's easier just to swap them out real quick. So I'm going to put that in, get before you show up. That's something you should already have in your back pocket. The WatchDog is the one you see in Progressor, the two you see advertised all the time with influencers in. I have both. I use the WatchDog. So next up, what are we looking at next? I am going to look at the WeBoost for cellular boosters, and quite any of these. And I will tell you, I've tried them, I've used them. They can give you a little bit of extra range, but you got to hold your phone right up to the antenna. They have a lot of restrictions on them and what they can actually do in the boosting. Quite frankly, they're total crap and trash. Don't waste your money on one. I know that lots of influencers, oh, you got to get that. Don't do it. Don't listen to it. Next up is the Mopica. The Mopica is helps you monitor your propane. It's a little magnet you stick on the bottom, and I actually tape it on there too, just to make sure it never comes off. And it does a pretty good job of telling you how much propane you have, and it'll tell you to your phone on an app by Bluetooth. So you can check it from the cab of your truck as you pull into the gas station, or you can check it in the middle of the night when you wake up and you're wondering, am I going to make it through the night? That can be really handy. You run out of propane in the middle of the night and it's really cold and you don't know it, your whole system may freeze up and bust pipes. So that's really handy to have. Or you can just kind of really monitor your propane use and check the tanks. Maybe you have a gauge on it outside. If you have the gas stop, it has a gauge. As long as you're checking it once in a while, you'll be all right. I think they're super convenient. I think they're great for that reason. So I'm putting it in the better life category. Don't need it. You can do it the other ways, but sure makes life a little bit better. All right, that brings us to our last thing, and this is the Blue Tech water filtration system. I don't have one. I've been surviving without one. So obviously you don't have to have it when you first get up, but I've been thinking about getting one because this summer I spent a lot of time at a camp that had a lot of iron in the water, and it turned everything orange, and it was a pain to clean. And my friends who had this, including Patrick at Travels with Delaney, they didn't have to deal with any of that. They're fine. Matter of fact, I noticed everyone in the campground had them but me. And then also, we're going down to Fort Wilderness again. We did a month there last year. I think we're going to do 3 weeks there in January. And their water has a sulfury type smell to it, just faint, but it's there. And this filter system does a great job taking that out. I think it's great. I'm gonna get one. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet because the one that's I have in the picture here, it's about $500, $600 on Amazon. I can't remember what it is. If you go directly through them, it may be the same price. If you're gonna get it, go to Travels Delaney, use their link, and get it. I'll put a link to them down below. But I'm gonna just definitely put it in the better life category. So that does it. Now this, like I said, these aren't all the essentials you need for your RV. I did a video on that. I'll put a link to it, and it has a great list. But here's some things, I'll put links down to them below if I have them. And if I don't, well, I probably can find a link to everything. Feel free to use those, but you don't have to, obviously. I know we got Black Friday, depending on when I post this, either coming up or today. And you might want, to do a little shopping for the RVer or for yourself. Yourself's very important. And definitely check out that essentials list. And I'll put this as part of that same playlist so that you can find it easily. Hey, thanks a lot.